All right, and welcome to Flags with Friends. I'm Simon,
I'm Julien.
and we're
We're
friends, and
friends.
we're going. Yeah, we are friends, and we're going to talk about some flags. We've got four flags this evening. We've got a good flag, a bad flag, a guest flag that Julien has found, and we have a weird flag. And we're going to rate and review some flags. Julien, you ready?
I'm ready. Let's do this.
Okay. So first thing up, here's our good flag. This is a relatively new flag. So this is the flag of Libya,
Okay. Yeah.
but only since 2011. So,
Okay. 11. Okay.
so you'll remember that in 2011 was the Arab Spring, and one of the many regimes to fall during that time was the Gaddafi regime in Libya. And
Yeah.
actually, I've on the next slide, I've got a couple of historical flags just there on the left side. So the one that's 77 to 2011, that was the Gaddafi era flag, and you see it's solid green, memorable,
Okay.
simple, bold, frankly very boring.
Yeah.
I think for me the reason I picked this as a good flag is I love how you've got three simple, distinct, bold colors. I think the crescent and the star in the middle is stark, but it draws focus nicely. Like I could pick this flag out of a crowd, but it's also not too busy. I think this is a very, very well designed flag.
Yeah. I feel the same. I would say it's how should we put it? Yeah. The color, the specific tone of each color, do stand out well with each other. I think there is. No, and I like the white on black on the center is very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So would you say that this is something that's seen quite often in flag, this white on black kind of figures?
Black actually it doesn't show up as often as you might think on the flag. Um, I think there's an association with piracy that scares some people off.
Right. I was gonna say that, and then I didn't because I didn't want to look like a fool for pointing out
No, it's
the
true. It's
obvious
true.
pirate flag. But yes,
Yeah.
you're. This is probably something that
Yeah.
most people would shun away from. Okay,
Yeah.
interesting.
Although just to look at its predecessors and its neighbor flags, white, black, green, and red are really common flags in the Arab world. So a lot of North African and Middle Eastern flags, they have that color scheme. Although the current Libyan flag is one of the few that would combine all four of those.
Indeed.
So yeah, so like that's sort of like a pan Arab flag, pan Arab colors going on there. Julien, how proud would you be to display this flag?
Yeah, so I would be wary about let's say public display of any flag. Though I would say like in a private setting, right, where it's not like kind of a display of where it has not like a political um, inclination to it, like in a private setting, I would be proud to display this flag. I mean, I would be proud to display this flag among other worthy flags, so not to put any country ideology on a pedestal and enjoy it like as a form
so you've got it.
Yeah.
So you've got your home collection of tasteful flags.
Yeah.
They're displayed over the mantelpiece. It's something you might admire on a chilly evening in front of the fire.
Indeed.
I see. So I think that's been a good amount of time on our good flag. Julien, I think it's time to show what the viewers really came here for, and that's the bad flag. This absolute rag of a flag. So what we're looking at right now.
Oh my God.
So this is the Apartheid South Africa flag.
Oh.
And this flag, I would say, it is as ugly as the ideology it represents.
Indeed, I would say that something as horrible and abhorrent as apartheid deserve this kind of flag. They deserve each other. There is one one's ugliness complete the other's ugliness.
Yeah, like this is like there was a reason that like something as foul as this, like this would be like on the clerk's bedspread.
Explain to me what is going on, because there's a lot of going on in that flag. There's
This
lots of nonsense happening there. I feel.
Oh my goodness. So we have, okay, so the broad elements, of course, we've got this orange stripe along the top, white stripe in the middle, blue on the bottom. Had they stopped there, this might be a serviceable flag. However, we also have 3 flags, and Julien, one of my biggest peeves are flags within flags. And they put three right in the middle. So we've got, so going from left to right, we've got the flag of the United Kingdom. This is the flag of the Orange Free State, one of the precursor states to South Africa. And then we have the flag of the South African Republic out there on the far right, literally and metaphorically. The flags within flags do not stop there. If we were to look at the constituent flags here, we've got the UK flag on the left. We know that the flag of the United Kingdom is itself flags within flags, right? You've got the St. George Cross, St. Andrew and St. Patrick's Psalter. You stick them together, you get the flag of the United Kingdom, okay? So we've got 3 flags in the one flag within a flag, and that's just the UK. Looking at Orange Free State and the South African Republic, look at, like, these are all like roughly based on on various Dutch flags. So you've got the Prince of Orange flag. So like the guy who led the Dutch rebellion against the Spanish in what, I think 16th or 17th century, I'm not sure. So like that orange, white, blue, like that's in the overall flag that's dominating. And then we see in the Orange Free State in the corner there, that's got a modern Dutch flag in the corner. The South African Republic also is ripping off of the modern Dutch flag. It's just, Julien, it's flags within flags within flags.
It's like a flagception, as they would say.
It's flagception. It's a flag matryoshka. It's just it's garish. It's unoriginal. I hate it. I absolutely hate it.
Is there a reason why there's this like the upturned flag in the middle? That I find it very curious how they decided to put it that way, and it doesn't seem very symmetrical. It's very strangely aligned in the middle.
I know, it's everything about this flag is just incredibly grating. Well, I don't think you'd ever proudly display this flag, but if you had this flag in your life, what would you do with it? What would you do with this flag?
Well, I would say I would hope never to be caught in my house with an apartheid flag.
That's true. That's true. That would be very bad.
You know, I think this probably belongs in the like top 5 of the flags you don't want to have in your house, which include, I would say, probably the Nazi flag and probably you know, some white supremacist.
Oh yeah, this is like in like
flags.
swastika and Confederate flag.
I wouldn't want to have this in my house, even, you know, as a historical artifact or anything. This puts me this makes me uncomfortable in many levels. No, I would truly, and I mean, I don't think this is going to be a controversial opinion amongst our potential viewer, but I would say this deserves at best to be used as a fuel for a Molotov cocktail, perhaps, or
that could be productive. Yeah.
Yeah, this would be a productive. I mean, a Molotov cocktail that's to be thrown against, you know, hypothetical fascist government. This would be a good use of this flag.
That would redeem the fabric.
This would redeem the fabric. Yeah, the fabric this flag was printed on didn't deserve that.
No, absolutely not.
Much better.
All right, we're going to move on. We're going to move on to another flag. Viewers have had enough of this. Julien, you picked out this next flag. What
Yes,
what
indeed.
are we looking at? What are we looking at?
Well, Simon, you're looking at the Syldavian flag. The Syldavian flag, for perhaps our less Francophile viewer, is the flag of the fictional country of Sylvania in Tintin. Yes, Tintin, the famous Belgian reporter. Yes, indeed, Simon. I'm what you could. Well, I mean, I aspire to be an artist, as any young artist will tell you. And so, of course, I picked up what you could categorize as the imaginary flag. It's a flag for an imaginary country, a country that doesn't exist. And I picked this flag because, well, of course, I won't try to make to defend Tintin or its other Hergé against any of the criticism that has been leveled against him. This won't be a platform to do that, but Tintin to me has a very emotional has a lot of emotional value to me, because I think I practically learned to read through a Tintin album. And this Sylvania, the country Sylvania, it appears for the first time. It appears in a number of Tintin albums. It's mentioned in, for instance, in the Objective Moon album, where it's the action is set. But it's first introduced in the Tintin and Le Sceptre d'Autocar, which I have a copy here.
Oh, I'm just going to get out of the screen share so people can see that a bit better.
We have a copy here. Let me display it to the camera. We're sorry, this is very unprofessional. Like a professional producer would have had this copy framed and filmed in a much more classy way. But here we are.
You shame me that the only person wearing a tie during this conversation is complaining about lack of professionality. I mean, I must look like I'm an absolute orangutan by comparison over here.
Well, as I said again, I put my tie low, so to not get confused with a young conservative or a young, I don't know, hedge fund manager or something like that.
God forbid.
God forbid. So to get back to perhaps a bit of context would be necessary to best understand this flag. This Tintin album, the Sceptre d'Autocar, it was first serialized from, if my memory serves well, in 1939. It ran for a couple of months in the newspaper where Hergé was publishing his first the first adventures of Tintin, and eventually exactly, Randy. Thank you for refreshing my memory. And then eventually it was sort of a reassembled in an album form. And first it was in black and white, and then came this color version that we have here. So it has to be pointed out that in the first edition of the album, which I'm not familiar with, so I won't speak too much on that regard, but in the first edition, the Sylvanian flag was, well, in black and white. So this beautiful yellow wasn't there. I must also point out that this flag is very briefly shown in the comic book. It only appears in 2 frames very discreetly in the background. And actually, when I selected this flag, I had to read the album again to make sure that the flag was indeed real and not a piece of fan art, which is something else entirely. But perhaps if we could go back to the flag and look at
certainly. Let me just put the
and Sceptre d'Autocar, it does continue in that fashion where Tintin is visiting a country, Syldavia. But interestingly, this is the first time, well, not the first time, but it is it was one of the first times that Tintin visits entirely fictional country, which is more or less an amalgamation of a number of Balkan countries, mostly Albania, Montenegro, with elements of Serbia. So perhaps you could also show us on the next slide.
Oh, certainly.
That the flag, as you can see, the design is mostly inspired by Albania, and the Holy Roman Empire flag. Slovenia being established in the book as this sort of almost naive vision of a Balkan country post-war, shortly before the World War II.
Mm.
And what can I say about this flag? I found it very endearing to me. To me, it has there is a lot of love that went into it as went into the creation of Syldavia as a country, because obviously the album goes in detail about Slovenia. You can see the peasants, you can see the architecture of the castle of the King Ottokar, and it's also there's a lot of love that was and attention that was put into creating this fictional country. And to be I have to say that when I first encountered this at the tender age of 8 years old, for a while I was indeed convinced that it must be a real country. It was before I learned the sometimes beautiful, sometimes horrifying story of the Balkan and the numerous trials they faced during the 20th century.
But I mean, there have been so many different political entities in the Balkans through the 20th century. One could be forgiven for thinking that Syldavia was a real place, if only for a few decades.
I must point out also that the flag, as you can see, the animal that is represented on the flag is the black pelican, the black Syldavian pelican, which is also a fictional animal, though I check, and pelican do inhabit the Balkans, mostly in the Croatia and Montenegro, I believe.
Yes,
so it's not entirely out of place as a characterization, but I would say that the much more gentle nature of this bird, which to me feels very very not, I wouldn't not say cute in our modern sense, but I would say it has a very nice, gentle, peaceful quality, which contrasts with the imperial eagle that we see, for instance, on the Albanian and Holy Roman Empire flag.
Yeah, and not just these flags. I mean, not
just these flags.
You'll see double-headed eagles on the on Serbian flags. You'll see them on. There was a Imperial Russia had a double-headed eagle as well. Flag makers of a certain bent are very fond of eagles, particularly double-headed ones.
Right, and so I think it's nice that this Syldavian flag, it has the pelican, which is like a much more gentle and peaceful animal, and I believe that this helped sort of center Syldavia as the sort of a peaceful, quiet, caring, pacifist nation, and puts them in contrast with their neighbors, the neighboring nation of Borderia. Borderia, which serve as the main antagonist in the number of
got their flag here.
Yeah, I'm not sure if this Borderian flag actually is the real flag. It might be kind of hard, though the sort of mustache thing, it does appear on the Borderian military officer's uniform.
Oh,
okay. I think this might be where the flag derives from, but I'm not sure if it is actually canon. Though, as the second Borderian flag suggests, the Borderian were heavily modeled on what was at the time fascist Germany, and I think and the Sceptre d'Ottokar, with its story about how the king of Syldavia, there is a conspiracy against him by a Borderian agent who wants to stage a coup to replace him with the fascist Borderian occupation. I think this serves to indeed satirize the expansionist vision of Nazi Germany at that time. And indeed, the one of the antagonists of the Sceptre d'Ottokar, which is not seen but is briefly mentioned in a letter, is the Borderian leader, which is called Mushler.
Mushler,
yeah.
Oh
And
wow.
again, we should recall that this came out in 1939, just before the start
Oh.
of World War II. So I guess you could say, Simon, that there is a sort of almost a wistful sort of vision of of an utopic Balkan country pre-war, before the World War II went and destroyed any hope of reconciliation for the next 5 years. I think, in a way, it's a bit naive. And, the Syldavia is portrayed as a nation where basically everyone loves the king, and
Yeah.
the king is a benevolent, peaceful figure, and there's nothing wrong whatsoever in the country. And the only problem of the country is these external fascist enemies. But I feel
Which is a
there
very
was
conservative outlook. Like all of our problems are problems with our neighbors.
yes,
And we're
indeed, yeah,
totally
and
harmonious within.
yes, indeed, and I guess that this is the naive outlook of the story. But at the same time, I feel that it comes from a place. I mean, if we compare perhaps to a previous Tintin story that were more in line with the sort of imperialist, or at least paternalist vision of Tintin as the all-powerful Belgian envoy who goes to foreign land and solve all our problems for them. I think in Sabdo Tokar it has this. I think it has a more gentle nature to it, which would I feel be kept going in the future Tintin album, which I'd say are a bit more mellow in terms of the paternalistic element, though I fear that they do remain for the duration of the series, which perhaps we should remind to our viewer is a 20th century piece of art with all the limitations that it
Yeah, that is
entails.
definitely true. All right, so we've got one more flag. So we've seen our good flag, our bad flag, our weird flag. No, excuse me, our guest flag. Now we're about to see our weird flag.
Yes.
Julien, I believe you're familiar with this next one.
I believe there could be some familiarity. Yes.
It's entirely possible. Julien, we know each other because there was a time when we both lived in Montreal, and sadly, I've since left for the. I've been rusticating in Southern Ontario for several years now. But I do remember on more than once being out and about in Montreal and seeing this flag either hanging out of people's windows. Sometimes you would see it at certain demonstrations. And I was never exactly sure what this flag meant, but I always thought it looked cool as heck. I've done. It's weird. It's a weird flag.
It is weird, but perhaps you should explain a bit the background to it, because there is it's
true.
let's say that this flag is a version of a number of flags. There's not.
That's true.
I'll let you explain.
Actually no, I don't have the old version. I'll go back. I've gone too far. There we go. So correct me if I'm wrong, but I think if we just looked at the basic elements here. Green stripe on top, white stripe in the middle, red horizontal stripe at the bottom. Like that's the original Patriote flag, which I believe is the flag of the 1837 Lower Canada Rebellion.
Yes, as far as I think, I believe you're correct. The star and the figure in the center with the vieux de 37, as they call it, they are later addition to it.
Right, because I think Le Vieux 37, like the old guy with the rifle and the pipe, like he's I guess he's supposed to be a caricature of a revolutionary of the time. And again, like I honestly I think this flag is cool as hell. I think it's really silly to have an image like this ornate in the middle of a flag. Uh, like it would be hard to draw this flag exactly from memory because it's too detailed.
Yes, indeed. So I guess this breaks some of the unspoken rule of the flag designing world.
And we're gonna stick those rules.
But again, I mean, there's precedent for flags with complicated figure, like especially when there's like I would think when there is a lion or an eagle, where it's like very ornate. But I
for
agree,
sure.
this is very ornate indeed.
Mm-hmm. So what I gather is like this is something like it's a Quebec nationalist flag.
Yes.
I don't know. You left your fleur-de-lis at home, or like the fleur-de-lis flag like doesn't quite say what you want to say with the amount of emphasis necessary. Right. So then you reach for your drapeau patriote. Who now, like Julien, who do you think would fly who flies this now? Because I read like there was like the FLQ used this flag at one point, but I don't know if that's the case anymore.
Well, I think, I mean, again, without being an expert on this particular flag, I think what's interesting is that it's kind of as this flag is not, well, this particular version of the flag, at least, as it's not like being sort of I don't know, associated very specifically to a political entity or a country. I think it has become like just a sort of a catch-all symbol of Quebec nationalism. So it can basically be used by anybody. So you can have either like your, leftist, Marxist, freedom fighter using it, or you can have, the old racist, xenophobic nationalists using it. So I think it has a very wide appeal because it can like signify a number of things, all of course associated with Quebec nationalism and independence. Though I would say, and this is why I mean I would regard I would be very wary of this flag entering my collection, is that now I feel it has become mostly associated with what I would call a sort of a grumpy nationalist, old guard of Quebec nationalism, which I want nothing to do with. So yeah, and I think it's been co-opted by a very unsavory individual in the recent demonstration. Because you basically you'll go to your you'll go to your anti-vax conspiracy theorist demonstration, you go to a demonstration of people protesting against immigration or protesting against Muslim presence in Quebec or Canada, and you always like find one guy with this flag waving it around, and then you feel very uncomfortable by it, and yeah.
So does that mean if this flag would fall into your possession, Julien, is this like after you've thrown the first Molotov cocktail with the South African flag, is this going in the next one? Is it like at that level of reprehensibility?
No, I wouldn't say that. I would say that this flag could. I mean, I would hope this flag be. I mean, this flag deserves to be redeemed. I would say. I mean, I would hope that eventually, in people's mind, it can be associated with progressive value of liberty, equality, freedom, etc., etc. And I think there is a place for it in that realm, and hopefully in people's mind it won't be attached anymore to xenophobia or conservatism and things like that. But we can only dream.
That's true.
I mean, would I be the one to try to redeem this flag? Though I feel this is a job for a more charismatic political leader than I. But
that is the task for another YouTube channel.
Simon, how do you feel like aesthetically about the flags? I mean, you haven't told me said much. How do you feel about this distorted figure? How do you feel about the
about
design of it? How do you
going back to this one? Let me just share it again to reminder of, once again, I have lost the window. Viewers, I vow to get better at this in future episodes. But for now, stop looking at my email. Let me just tell you what I think. I think that green, white, and red are a great trio of colors. You see it in, we've seen it before. We've seen it in Mexico. We've seen it in Italy. We've seen it in Bulgaria and Hungary. It's not an untested combination, but that's because it's good. It's good. Yeah. Green and red. I mean, and white. Like these are also Christmassy colors, and it's popular. It's eye-catching. I think those three horizontal stripes are bang on, and I think the golden star in the corner. I think it's a nice asymmetrical accent. And if those are the only elements in the flag, I'd probably put it just unironically in the good flag section. So I think those are really strong. But it's le vieux des 37 that's really wacky and out there, because it's this huge figure, you know. He's got a big pipe and he's carrying this big rifle and this cap. I don't know, like to me, like it looks like one of the communard hats, just like how long it is, but I don't know, maybe it's a practical winter hat. It just looks like such a caricature and slapped right in the middle. It seems a little bit silly to me, and that's probably what appeals to me about it, that it's a very bold symbol, and a lot of people take it very seriously, and I find that interesting. And that's ultimately why I wanted to add it.
Is there a flag for the Higher Canada Rebellion? Was there an official flag? Are you aware of any flag?
I'm not aware of one. No, I'm not aware of one. No, because I think a lot of the people who are active in that didn't even. I don't think they wanted independence. I think they were. I think they were loyal to Britain, but they wanted some kind of reformed home rule. So I imagine if there was any flag that they felt attached to, I assumed it would be the Union flag, the Union Jack. I've never heard of an Upper Canadian Rebellion flag. Although, viewers, if you know of an Upper Canada Rebellion, if you know of a painted bedsheet that William Lyon Mackenzie waved up and down Jarvis Street, let us know. Let us know. Right below in the comments. I'm doing my best to be a YouTube channel guy. I don't know. It's an awkward mold for me.
Yes, I give perhaps this is now the moment where we give thanks to all these famous YouTubers who so easily managed to plug in their store, their Patreon. Leave comment in the section if you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to ring the bell.
Yeah, that's right. Smash that like button, subscribe, recommend it to your friends, your family, your enemies. If you know people who would be annoyed by a flag show and would hate watch it all the way through, you should share it. You should share with us. Yes. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I'd recommend the Patreon, but I haven't got one.
Well, it's a process.
Go spend your money on something useful.
There's a Christmas season. Go buy your friends some stuff.
Go buy some canned food and donate it to a food drive. We don't have a Patreon. Yeah, use your money wisely. Julien, do you have anything to say to the good people before we sign off?
I hereby apologize again for this horrible accent you have had to suffer through. This is actually I think this is the first time I participate in something like this, so thank you for inviting me. I believe we haven't said anything too controversial, so I don't think your career as Canada's foreign Prime Minister is down the toilet yet, but we'll see. We'll see if you have some hot take about the American flag on the next episode.
Oh, well, yeah. Wait till we start reviewing Canadian provincial flags. Then we're dead. Then we're done for.
Yeah,
I'm talking about you, New Brunswick.
Oh well, this is for next episode.
All right, folks. Until next time. This has been Flags with Friends,
and we are friends.